Tony D and Little Joan, and this is a screenwriter's take on the Minecraft movie. And I'm gonna eat a little crow. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys books 1 through 18. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Now, I said a lot of nasty things about this trailer. And I'm going to take back some of it. I watched the movie, and it was kind of appealing. Now, don't get me wrong. It was not the greatest movie ever made, or wasn't even that good, really. But it was very watchable and kind of entertaining. Kind of, for me. The general take I had on it wasn't totally off, but I think I was a little harsh for what it was. It turns out that they did a lot with what they had. Now, before I get into the spoilers, let's do a non-spoiler review. So the non-spoiler review is this. If you're a fan of Minecraft, you've probably already seen this movie like 10 times. So I don't have to review it for you. If you're not a fan of Minecraft, it seems like a movie that's perfectly fine for your kids. It's, mostly tolerable. Jack Black, as a character in the movie, is kind of annoying, but they keep him mostly in check for, I'm going to say, up till maybe the last 5 minutes of the movie, when he starts to wear out his welcome, and by that time it's basically over. There's also some other comedy bits. It's very much formatted like a comedy movie, so that much I really enjoyed. Jennifer Coolidge has Coolidge is her name, from White Lotus. She's in it, and she's like a side character, and they keep cutting back to her, and she has a funny bit. And Matt Berry also does a character, and he's only in it for a very short time, but nails it as always. So there's a lot of comedy here. Now, it's goofy and it's stupid, because they turned, of course, Minecraft into a world which these characters go and visit. And even the setup is pretty dumb and stupid. But it is a kid's movie. But that being said, it's at least entertaining and kind of creative. So, depending on the... I wouldn't recommend this to my movie snob friends. They would hate it, obviously. They would be like, what the hell is this? But I would recommend this to, say, if I had a friend who was really into video games. Yeah, he'd probably be okay with it. Not anybody my age really would want to watch this movie. Typically. I'm an unusual case. I like movies about video games and cartoons and all that kind of stuff. So I was quite surprised how much I enjoyed it. But although my bar was pretty low. Now, I don't get all the stuff that's in the game. I gotta say, I kind of was mildly interested in playing the game after watching the movie, because it shows you all the stuff that's in it. And they did a good job of creating a little bit of menace for the wacky characters. And there's one character in particular who's particularly menacing. And on that respect, they don't pull any punches with him. So that was kind of cool. So they do get a little... there's a little creepiness in it. Not a lot. So again, I think it'd be fine for your kids, and you'd probably be okay with it. Kind of tuning in and out and go, what? Okay. But, it is a wacky world of video games. Probably the weakest act in it is the third act. And then it kind of dips down in the... they get to a conclusion, and then it kind of dips right there. But by that time, it's over. and you can breeze through it. I watched this in pieces because I'm busy, but I finally watched the rest of it tonight. All right, let's get into the spoilers. First act, they live in this. The two main characters, the brother and the sister. The sister's taking care of the brother, and they move to a town, and she's starting a new job, and they're struggling. And the kid's creative, but he doesn't really have an outlet for his creativity, and he's kind of picked on in school. But he's, he's a good kid. Jason Momoa is this weird guy who won a video game contest back in the 80s, and now he runs a vintage video game store that's not doing well, and he's about to be kicked out. The heavyset black woman, I forget the actress's name, that her character's name is Danielle, I think. She's the real estate person that sells the sister and the brother the house they live in, or rents it to them, I forget. So she's just sort of a random person in the town. She also is into animals, which gets into the plot of the story. So the plot of the story is something like this. Steve, who is played by Jack Black, is the guy who stumbled into the Minecraft world. And he's been living there for quite a while, doing Minecraft things, living in the blocky world. And he has a best friend named Dennis, who's a wolf from that world, so he's all blocky too. But Dennis disappears on him, and he thinks that it's being held by an evil pig witch. And that's the evil bad guy in the movie. I think they called her Malbolgia. I don't remember how they pronounced her name. Anyway, she runs Pig World, where it's all dark, and that's like another world next to the Minecraft world. And it's all darkness, and if they go into the Minecraft world, they can only go at night, because then the sunlight kills all the pigs, and turns all the undead monsters and kills them too. So the pig witch wants to spread darkness on the Minecraft world and take it over. Dennis is tied into that, but there's some MacGuffin. This he calls it an orb, but everything's a square in Minecraft. That's a joke. It ends up in our world, where Jason Momoa and his new friend, the local kid, find it, or have it. I forget. I think it's in Jason Momoa's store, if I'm remembering correctly. But long story short, for some reason they end up tumbling into the world of Warcraft, all four of them, and now they're stuck there, and then they spend the whole movie trying to get out, which is very typical in these sort of situations. But the upside to it is the world of Minecraft does have very specific rules. It goes along with the game, and for the most part, they bring you along and tell you, most of what you have to do to survive in that world. And it makes sense because Steve, played by Jack Black, has lived there for many years. So during the course of the movie, you explore the Minecraft world. It gets a little girl bossy, as I suspected. The sister and Danielle end up doing all the heavy lifting. The sister is becomes a defense expert because she's in that world. She's really good at beating people up for no particular reason. Danielle, they kind of establish she's into animals, and so she is the one who ends up helping the wolves, and there's more wolves, and she recruits them, and that plays a role in the fight at the end. Steve knows everything because he's lived in the world a long time. The kid's deal is he's very creative, and they can use his mind to build things, basically. And then Jason Momoa, he has a bit of a redemption arc, right? He's kind of a loser, and then he sort of betrays them, but then in the end, he comes back and saves everybody. Spoilers. This is the spoiler part, in case you didn't know. So it's a fun enough movie. There's some wacky comedy bits. Jack Black sings. At first, I watched the first 2/3, and he only sings one song, the chicken song, which is nice and short. And then at the end, he sings another song, which is a little long, but mostly short, mostly just to get us to the end of the movie. It wasn't bad. It was tolerable, but I'm a little sick of Jack Black's shtick, but it was fine. Him and Jason Momoa kind of made it fun. The whole movie's kind of fun. It's more fun for people who know the Minecraft world, obviously. The chicken jockey is a huge thing. And people love that. Also, the evil, I don't know, the thing you can't look at in the eye that moves really fast that the kid defeats. Not sure that they didn't really explain it. They just kind of said it was evil, don't look at it, but he somehow beats it with an axe. They don't really explain everything, but they explain enough, and it's a video game world, so you're willing to suspend your disbelief. Jack Black's character isn't annoying, and its function is to explain everything that happens in the movie, mostly. The physics of the Minecraft universe, which he does quickly and efficiently enough that it doesn't get too, like, what? Although you get a little of that, you're just like, okay, whatever, just move on to the next thing. So it's fast-paced enough that you kind of don't care if the movie is, I thought it was fine for what it was. It's still really stupid. I mean, it's still dumb. And, the game and Jack Black simply just say things, and then, that drives the movie forward. So if they need to kill something or destroy something, Jack Black just tells them how to do it, and it basically happens. So there's not too many surprises in the movie, quite frankly. It's just silly. The giant pigs are fun because they're running around. They're constantly being killed or blown up, and they're bumbling, and there's a few other evil monsters. The monsters are there, but they don't actually really pose that much of a threat. And Jennifer Coolidge does have a funny scene that they keep cutting back to. So, if you don't understand anything about the game, my advice to you is listen closely in the beginning when Jack Black is explaining it, the world, because that's the game. And if you don't listen, you might be confused as to why things are happening. But overall, they keep that to, I can't say a minimum, but they keep it low enough that it doesn't overwhelm the movie if you're paying attention. And so it's just a silly, dopey movie. But an entertaining one. So after seeing it, I think I was a little harsh. Yeah. It's not the worst thing. I no longer hope everybody has to take 2 years off of movies after it comes out. Which is something I said in my trailer analysis. I'm watching my trailer analysis going, man, I really went hard on this thing. But yeah, I mean, it's colorful enough. So it's not that bad. Keep in mind, my expectations were pretty low, and I saw it for free. Now, if I had paid for this, that would have been no bueno. What's the ending? Okay, the ending is everybody lives and they get back to their world. Duh. And then Jason Momoa isn't a loser anymore. He fixes his store, and then they all make a video game together. The sister opens a self-defense thing, and Danielle has the square wolf for some reason, and that somehow makes her, I don't know, an animal specialist that she wants to be. I don't know. It's sort of one of those movies you just go with it. And Jason Momoa and Jack Black and the kid make a game, I guess, based on the Minecraft world. So it's fine. 100% I could see them doing a sequel. 100%. What would it be about? I don't know. It'll just be another tour de force, and they go back to Minecraft world and run around like maniacs, and there'll be a new threat, and they'll beat it and escape and come back, and there'll just be a bunch of stupid jokes. So, if I had to rank it, gosh, I mean, I'd give it at least a 5, maybe even a 6, like 5.5. It's better than the average movie. It's fun. That's the nice thing about it. It's really fun. It's harmless fluff, and the energy's there. Jason Momoa does a pretty good job. They kind of emasculate him, I think, a little bit. I mean, he's a big guy with muscles, and he doesn't really get to do all that much. Like, he doesn't really fight the pigs. I mean, he sort of does, but like, the girls have all the moves. The kid gets to kill a monster, the biggest one, in fact. Don't really understand how he does that, but he builds stuff in the Minecraft world, and that comes back at the end. The girl just suddenly be able to kill everybody, I don't know. It's a little weird. A little inconsistent, but again, the movie is just all fluff. You're not expecting anyone to die, you're not expecting anything heavy, and you don't get anything heavy. I mean, there's one bit where Jason Momoa supposedly dies, but he's not dead. He's going to come back. And he does. So, is it worth watching? Look, I didn't mind it. I gotta say, I didn't mind it. I like the first and the second acts better than I like the third act. The third act got a little tiresome. And then Matt Berry with the cherry on top. Because what his deal is, he's not in the entire movie. He's just in this last bit with Jennifer Coolidge. So Jennifer Coolidge is like a divorced woman who meets what's known as a villager. So there's these villagers in a game. So one of the villagers just wanders out into our world from the Minecraft world early in the movie. And he gets hit by Jennifer Coolidge in a car. She ends up saving him and then taking him to dinner. And they end up on this amazing date where you don't see the villager, like the villagers just say in Minecraft world, apparently. So you don't see the villager ever say a word to Jennifer Coolidge. You just hear Jennifer Coolidge talking about herself nonstop. So finally, at the end of the movie, and she's talking about her ex-husband. So finally, at the end of the movie, the final scene is Jennifer Coolidge's ex-husband, bursts in and demands to know who the villager is. And suddenly he starts talking with Matt Berry's voice, which is very hilarious because he hasn't said anything the whole damn movie. So, but now he's talking like, and Matt Berry has that, well, and Matt Berry always is consistently playing a character that's either in love, in a relationship, or talking about that, a relationship or something. So he doesn't say anything sexual, which is what he 100% always does in almost everything he does, because it's a kid's movie. But I could just, I could just hear him. There's probably like 3 other takes of Matt Berry saying, you know, sexual things. But it's funny. It's just a funny bit. You know, when you have this villager who doesn't talk through the whole movie, and you expect his voice to be like, and then, you know, at the end he suddenly talks like Matt Berry. I'm sure they got a huge laugh from the Minecraft fans who went and saw this movie. It's a funny bit. It's a funny bit. It's a kid's bit, but it's a funny bit. So, yeah, I would green light a sequel to this. Why not? It did very well. It did very well. I don't know what the status of the game is. I think what they need to do is probably put out that game, the game they make in the movie, and then you know, have that somehow connect to what the sequel will be. And they could certainly even do a TV show, you know, and just do stupid adventures in that world, and they keep coming back and forth and whatever. Will they? I think they'll do at least a sequel to this thing. I think it did too well for them not to do a sequel. But yeah, I'll eat a little crow. It's not it's not an anthem to cinema. Maybe part of the reason is because the game itself really doesn't have any kind of plot, or really any. I guess Steve is part of the world and the villagers and whatnot, but like there's no driving narrative, so they just sort of created one. And again, it's super basic, and it's like the only thing you can really do. I was annoyed when they first announced it, and like everybody else, I looked at that set and I said, "Oh, this looks so effing dumb." But it works fine in the movie. In the movie, you're just like, "Oh, okay, that's the way the world is." So, you know, they played it right. You know, they didn't make excuses for it. They just went full bore into it with Jack Black explaining everything. I'm sorry. Sorry, I was really trying not to sneeze because I'm almost done. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan somewhere behind me. She got sleepy and went to bed. What's coming up? Saturday, I'll be at Scary Book Fest. That's in Flemington, New Jersey, at the Act 2 bookstore. It's going to be a great day. It starts at noon, goes to 8:30. I'll be doing my talk. I believe they're doing a screening. I hope there'll be snacks. I don't know. There might be. So come on out to Scary Book Fest. We'll see you in the next one.